Well, Happy New Year, everybody. I hope everybody had a good New Year's. I'm here to talk to you about taxes, but it is a great tax. It's a 3/8 sales tax renewal. It's not a new tax for the county, and it does great things for the citizens of not only the county, but for municipalities as well. And I'm not going to talk to you about this by myself because I'm much better with a group. We have Commissioner Zach Cavett, Nathan Anderson, our extension agent, and he is the chair of the Sales Tax Advisory Committee. We have, no, you're not. Who's the chair now? Calvin Oyster is. Okay. Rhonda Markham, our newly sworn in commissioner, District 3. Her and Zach are not going to talk to each other. They're not going to violate any open meetings acts here. Terry Esri, he's the fire chief for the city of Stillwater. His department gets some of the sales tax money. He's going to talk to us about that. And Colin Campbell, our director of our Expo Center. So all of us together are going to try to give you some information on this tax, history on this tax, what we do with this tax, how important this tax is. So I'm going to turn this over to Nathan to kick it off, and you'll hear from all of us.
Thank you, Glenna. That's always good to start out with taxes first thing in the year, right? Many familiar faces. I appreciate all you being here, and we appreciate the time that you've allowed us to have to talk about this sales tax. Were all of you aware the sales tax existed? You remember that? This thing originated, it was first passed in 1994, went into effect January 1 of 1995. We want to stress, we're trying to get the word out there. As Glenna said, this is not a new tax. It is a renewal of an existing tax. This tax is very, very beneficial. It has provided numerous resources for multiple agencies and organizations and different communities, as Glenna said, and have been a great benefit to the county and to the residents of Payne County. Something that's a little bit new. The last time we passed it, there was a new law that went about that said it was carried on one question. And last time, due to new legislation, it is now 5 questions. So Zach and Colin are going to be easing around, passing out flyers that look like this. So there are 5 questions with 5 propositions that you need to answer for this one sales tax. The 5 propositions are county road and bridge, general fund, and Glenna can speak about that. There is the Expo Center out east of town, great facility, brings tons of money into our community. The extension service, and then rural fire. So you have to vote 5 times to pass the complete 3/8 sales tax. So as we look at those 5 different propositions, the first one, proposition 1, is county road and bridge. And that is why Commissioners Zach and Rhonda are here. And I think Commissioner Cavett was going to talk just a little bit about the benefits of the road portion of this sales tax.
So the reason we're out here today is it's a continuation, but it's important to have a sunset, I believe, on any tax, because then if we quit doing our job and spending it wisely, then the people have a right to reject that. In the past, ever since it's been reelected and passed, it has passed with what I feel is overwhelming support. So this year, we was able to finally get some equipment. I ordered motor graders in October last year, and they arrived on my yard in December. So about 13 or 14 months. Those graders, the last grader I bought, we paid about $278,000 for it in 2015. These graders I just ordered are about $380,000. These are ballpark numbers, but it's really close to that. I think in 383, I think, something like that. We ordered new trucks. Out of all the taxes that benefits the roads, this is the most important because we can use it to purchase equipment. Recently, we passed a 1/4 cent sales tax that used to go to pay off the jail debt for the new jail. And it was transitioned into a tax that benefits roads, but it was written in such a way that it can only go into infrastructure, materials, gravel, asphalt, contractors to improve those things. This 3/8 cent sales tax allows us to use the funds to purchase equipment. The way the road districts operate, how many of you know how much of your property tax dollars goes to roads? This could have been a good trivia question. Any idea? Does your property taxes go to your roads? No, none of it. So the way the county road districts get funded is money from the state. All the taxes are collected, sent to the state, and the state sends them back. So we really, we can average, kind of estimate what we're going to get, but we don't know. Currently, we're splitting District 1 and 3 because Payne County is only one of 3 counties that gets, that only has 2 road districts. So we 50-50 on the money we get from the state. And we've been operating on about $160,000 a month apiece. Currently, District 1 spends close to $50,000 a month in gravel. We spend the price of fuel, as everybody knows, everything we have is diesel. So our fuel bill went from about $13,000 a month to about $25,000 a month. So as everybody knows, inflation has plagued us and made everything begin to cost more. I was on the phone with the reporter from the Perkins Journal getting information. He was collecting some information and he said, well, how much of the sales tax funds helps build bridges? I said, well, none directly goes to it. But when we can use that to buy equipment or gravel or anything else we need, it frees the funds up over here that we can use to build bridges. So without the 3/8 cent sales tax, this one, the roads get 53% of that 3/8 cent sales tax. We get the lion's share of it, which right now I think is averaging about $125,000 a month per district. We went to bid on some roads. Asphalt is through the roof as well. When I took office in 2012, 2013, it was running about $100,000 a mile for asphalt for 2 inches thick, 22 feet wide. And now that same mile is running about 125, 130,000. But they said they gave me 30 minutes, but you guys look like you're ready to go. So I'll pass it on. I'll be around a little bit after the meeting. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
All right. Thank you, Zach. So Proposition 2 is general programs. And the one that's Glenn is going to talk about the general programs. That is a 15% allocation of the 3/8 cent sales tax.
So general programs, it's kind of the county general portion of the 3/8 cent sales tax. And you're wondering, why does the county general need more of the money? Well, kind of like roads and bridges, county general fund does not get a lot of the ad valorem money with the county. A lot of that goes to the schools, which we're glad they do. But there are things that come up in general government that we have to purchase that we may not have the money for. Payne County only has 3.3 million in general contingency. Now, some of you say that's $3 million, but if you look at a county our size, we're the 7th largest county in the state of Oklahoma, that's really not a lot of money. When you talk about a disaster, ice storms, building breakdowns. So what we have committed to do as the 8 elected officials in county government is make that 15% of the general fund 3/8 cent sales tax for big projects, capital outlay, M&O. We have redone our command center. We have bought equipment. We have paid for HVAC units. We have paid for big equipment that we may not need to pay for otherwise. So we have used that as a capital outlay M&O backup to the general fund so we can stay solvent as a county and keep at least 20% in our general fund contingency without having to go there. Ice storms, where does that money come from? If we have a major ice storm, we have a major disaster, we're going to go to that money to help us out and not break our contingency account. Also, as a procurement officer, when they get done talking, they're going to talk about the things they buy. And we have to follow state law, state bidding. So know that that money is used in a very conservative manner and way, and according to what the ballot says. And as Nathan kind of talked about, and Zach kind of talked about, we have to use this money according to ballot. So know that we are following the laws for that. Any questions on the general?
I do. Glenna.
What?
Your honest opinion. Would this county be financially solvent without the sales tax?
No. We would be very, very hard pressed to meet the projects, to the commitments, the programs, to have the infrastructure we have, to have the equipment we have, to have the safety, fire that we have. You know, Terry will talk about this. We have built fire stations. We have bought fire trucks. They have gotten safety gear. We have helped everybody in their, what is it, ISO ratings. And Terry will talk about that. But I can tell you, without this money, that Payne County would be one of the poorer counties, and the programs that we offer to the citizens would be far less than what they are now.
Thank you, Glenna. So proposition number 3 on there is the Payne County Expo Center. I see Dr. Wedderman sitting in the back. One of your guest Rotarians, Thomas Walraven, they're both on the Payne County Fair Board, and they are part that oversees the funding that happens out there. So Colin Campbell is the manager at the Expo Center, and I'm going to let him talk about the Expo Center and the great job that they do out there.
Thank you, Nathan, and thanks for having me. Trust me, I've spent more time keeping these things working out there at the Expo Center than talking into them. But I always say that, you know, if anybody can think of the type of event, we've probably had it. You know, it doesn't matter what it is, from dog shows to cattle shows to cat shows to banquets, meetings, you name it, we do it. And we do it several times a week. And sometimes we've done as many as 5 events a weekend at one time. But with this sales tax, we get 20% of this tax, and that enables us to pay the bills, do maintenance, upgrades, you know. So we've had several once in a lifetime deals. You know, like 3 years ago, I think we did a Oklahoma Dental Association put on a free dental clinic. They rented every building that we had. We turned the McVeigh Arena into basically a dentist's office. So, and took a lot of plumbing, took a lot of electrical, took a lot. I had to go to Oklahoma City just to kind of see how it worked the year before, because I knew it was going to be a huge undertaking. We worked very closely with Christy Morrison and her team. They, if we're not on the phone at least once a day, it's every other day. But we try to bring in new events from other parts of the country. You know, how many people remember the pandemic? Okay. Yeah. We kind of come out of the pandemic really well at the Expo Center, because as other states were not opening up, there were events booked in these states that were not opening up when we were. So we were picking up some of those events, bringing them to Oklahoma and to Payne County. And then several of them, we've made annual events now. So we just built off of that. But a lot of what we do is, you know, it's relations. You know, if we get an event here, we work with the organizer, we build a relationship with them so they know what to expect from us and my crew, and we know what to expect from them. And if we do everything right, we're going to get them back. And most of the time we do. So the other sweet part about what we do, we're bringing people in from all over the United States. So these people are coming into Stillwater, they're coming into Payne County, they're shopping, they're going out and eating, going out for drinks maybe, you know, buying fuel, all that adds up. So that's not us paying for it, that's them, which is a key. So anyway, we do a free fair which is, if you go to many county fairs, ours is a pretty nice one. You know, it's, and we also have a very tough county show for our kids in Payne County. Trying to think what else.
Well, you talked about the pandemic, Colin.
Oh,
And y'all were the testing center and the vaccination center. What people don't realize is how much they give back. They do collect all these different fees for paying customers to come in that are growing audience into Payne County and spending tax dollars here. The last time we did an economic analysis on it was approximately 10 years ago.
2009.
And it was bringing in $5.1 million in sales tax money to Payne County annually. That's the economic input that. Well, I said that was 10-year-old data. That's
2009.
10-year-old data. So it is, yes, Christie, that is low, but it's quite substantial.
We're working on it.
But also the donating, any of the 4-H and FFA groups, different organizations, you've had graduations, you've had booster clubs, they get it free of charge. The local organizations related to youth get it
Mhm.
free of charge.
Yep.
We can't give it to everything, but I mean,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of contribution back. A
Trust-
lot of tax money brought in.
Trust me, during that pandemic, I think I got to know everybody at the health department. I mean, everybody. You know. Right. We updated the McVeigh Arena, completely renovated it. I want to say 4 years ago. We put new concrete, new sheet metal. Basically, the frame was the only thing left. That has turned that building in a busy place. With that renovation, it brings new events that we couldn't do before. You know, I was looking the other day, we had an event that was wanting to come to Stillwater, and they were wanting the expo hall, which I looked and we couldn't find 2 days in there that building was not sitting idle on a weekend. Well, Memorial Weekend was one of them, but anyway, we've upgraded the heat and air units. You know, we've got 103,000 square feet under roof, and it's kind of like your house. Every now and then you got to throw some money at your house. Well, it's the same way there. We've got to keep it up, keep the facilities up and looking nice, to keep drawing people back in. So right now we're renovating the livestock barns. It's going to be it's a big project that we're trying to get done in 45 days. Now it's going to be close. So anyway, if anybody's got any questions, feel free to ask.
No questions. All right. That's good. Trivia lady. What was the highest grossing sales tax weekend ever recorded in Stillwater? No, I guarantee it. What would you think it would be? Like homecoming or? No. Monaco bus convention that was held out there. No, that's right. Dr. Wetterman, there you go. That's a what? Okay. No. Monaco bus convention, come out there and brought all those tour type buses. Yeah, it was. It was quite impressive. I remember getting on a bus that was $1.2 million and fabulous. And that was the biggest, highest grossing sales tax weekend ever recorded in Payne County. You bet. You bet. No, that was many years ago. What do you think, Dr. Wetterman? 15? It still tops. Yeah. Anyway. All right. I know running out of time. Proposition 4 is with the Extension Service, which is what I'm with. And As I was introduced earlier, I'm the county director here in Payne County. We provide the educational services related to agriculture, horticulture, family and consumer science, 4-H youth development, and community development. So we, when we have all of our positions filled, we have 5 educators that provide this, and we're part of the land grant system through OSU. We get 7% of the 3/8 cent sales tax, 100% of the county portion. If y'all understand the land grant system is a partnership between state, federal, and county. State and federal funds are handled through OSU. The county's contribution, 100% of that comes from this sales tax, 7% of the 3/8 cent sales tax. I look around here and many of you have been customers of ours with your soil and lawn and hay and water test and beef questions. Dr. Wedeman and James, he's been in. We grow forages and produce hay and poultry. Big time. Corporate. One. There is a large commercial hen house in this county. Yes. Just one. It's out in Zach's district. We'll do that. But the main thing we focus on in agriculture is there's 40,000 mama cows walking around in this county. So we are a beef county, and that's what we talk about. What keeps them alive? Hay and forages. All right. So that's where we focus our education. You like that, James? All right. One of the things that's through extension that is near and dear to many people is we also have the 4-H program. And we've got 14 4-H clubs across this county that's got over 500 members. And Colin mentioned how competitive Payne County is. Those 4-H members are competitive. This is a very sad problem to have, but when we have competitions in just about any category, we have to find reasons to eliminate children because they are that competitive and that good. And most of the kids in Payne County could go to any other county and dominate their county. And they're having to fight for every spot they can get in Payne County. That's how strong and active and progressive not only our 4-H members, but that goes to their parents and then back to people like you and your involvement and your contributions and how it helps. So that's where the extension service comes in. I'll be glad to answer any questions. I was going to get Chief Essery opportunity to talk about rural fire. So rural fire, and I know you think Stillwater, not rural, but they do a lot of rural firefighting. And it takes a tremendous amount of equipment. And when you need them now, and you want them trucks to start and make it through here. Rural fire gets 5% of the 3/8 cent sales tax. And that is divided equally. Glenna, help me out. 7 ways. Drumright has a partial part of their district in Payne County. And the reason they get some is the school is in that district. So the other 7 split it equally. So 13.577% of 5% of the sales tax.
All right. Thank you for having me. It's good to see everybody. This is a timely presentation because as we talk about the sales tax, our crews of Stillwater and I'm sure Perkins and neighboring departments are actually fighting a hay barn fire on West 68th. And they're fighting it with equipment that was purchased with this sales tax. Ultimately, I mean, what we do is we rescue people, right? It's that simple. And the money that comes from this tax helps to buy equipment. Commissioner Cabot talked about how much things have gone up in the last couple of years. And in fact, they go up every month and in every industry, right? I know that the most recent ladder truck that Stillwater purchased, which services and not just, you think of a ladder truck, well, it's only good for high-rise buildings, but that's not true. It will respond anywhere in the county that we need it to. It was purchased with county money, partially with county money. And these things not only help our life-saving capabilities, but they also help keep our insurance rates as low as possible. They help keep our ISO rating. Right now, Stillwater's currently at a 2. We're chasing the 1. We just had a survey come through in the last few months. We won't know until about a year from now, but we're hoping we'll at least get closer to the 1. But these funds, first of all, they protect life, property, and they also help protect our pocketbooks as well. So it's multifactorial. Do you have any questions at all? Because I'm not sure what your thoughts are and kind of what your specific interests are.
So there are volunteer fire departments around the county, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, how does this funds go in to help them?
Great question. That, being the city of Stillwater, our budget is significantly, just by the very nature of things, it's larger than theirs. And I can say that the money from the sales tax moves the needle towards progress for us. And when their budgets are considerably less because of the very nature of their communities, it's that much more important for them to have this money because it helps them buy brush trucks and engines and bunker gear, which is the stuff that we wear to go fight a house fire, and stations. Yes.
There's 6, what we would maybe consider rural fire departments besides still, we've got Perkins that benefits, Glencoe, Ripley, Ingalls, Yale, Drumright, and Ripley and Cushing. And I used to serve on the Glencoe Volunteer Fire Department. And recently I've spoke to a fire chief in Pawnee County. They have to do benefit dinners to raise money to buy fuel to put in their fire trucks. It's bad. So our departments are very blessed. Everybody in this county, I believe, is very blessed. But when they have to do fundraisers to put fuel in the trucks, that's bad. And we're blessed not to have to do that.
Hold on. We got a question in the
I
back.
got-
You got it?
Okay, here, you got it, Mike.
Okay. How much does this tax raise annually?
For us, I believe it raises about $25,000.
No. Total. Okay.
Total, I-
Nathan, what do you total?
Okay, let me justify this, that this is very, very, very ballpark. Each percent, so it'd be about, yeah,
Okay.
$450 a month.
Okay. What's your margin of winning in your last election?
The last 3, everyone since the first one has been an 80-20 margin of win.
Okay. Third question, why haven't you raised the tax? to
Why haven't
3/4 instead of 3/8 if you're winning by that much?
Well, because we want to be very cautious. We want to be very economical. We want to be very frugal with taxpayer money, and we don't want to abuse that and seem like we're being aggressive and trying to accumulate money. That's the same reason why we're staying at 5 years.
And to speak to that as well, there's a sales tax oversight advisory committee that meets, and they advise the Board of County Commissioners on to pass these or put these taxes on a ballot. And some of the reasoning I feel we don't want to raise it is because that can draw people away from the county if the sales tax rate is high. For one, that's not likely to happen. But we would be happy with the 3/8, and we would hate to jeopardize that to try to raise it to a half or 5/8 or something like that. And Colin touched on it just a little bit. Is one of the things we can tell a difference on the sales tax collections when OSU football is doing good, or when OSU basketball is doing good, or Stillwater High School is doing good. Why? Because it's everybody coming from other communities spending their money here and helping fund all of these things. One other thing I forgot to mention, you never can remember everything up here, but the money it gives us to be able to partner with other programs to get things done. So the state, we get some money from the state, and if counties don't have the money to match that, they miss out on it, where this helps us give that match money. I wrote some things down here. Okay, yes.
As I understand what you said, there are 5 propositions, each of which have to be voted on separately. What if only 4 or 3 of the propositions pass and the others do not? Does the whole thing fail, or is the money redistributed among the ones that do pass?
In the ballot, it is written down as the percentage that each proposition would receive. So if one was to not pass, they would simply, that entity would not be funded. So all of them could pass but roads, and all these others would be funded but roads. And so what? No, it cannot be redistributed. All of those less money. And the reason that is, there was a legislator in Guthrie passed this legislation, and he accused people of log rolling. You know, you put some good bills in with bad bills, and that's what made all these propositions that used to be passed with one to be made into 5 different propositions. These are all the same entities that benefit from when it was originally created.
But you still get a 3/8.
No, it would not be a 3/8 any longer.
It would discontinue being a 3/8. It would be whatever passed. That would be what was being collected.
One thing that I wanted to add back to Chris's question about the 3/8, the county's been very diligent not to ask for more money because of what Zach said, but also because we don't want to be greedy.
Watch on camera.
Oh, we don't want to be greedy. We know that the cities pass taxes. We know other people pass taxes. We as a county have a 1/4, a 1/8, a 1/16, and the 3/8. We don't want to be so greedy that we take in more money than what someone else can. We don't want to hurt our neighbor. Rural America is alive and well. It is the heart of America. And Payne County doesn't just take care of rural Americans, we take care of cities, but we have to be able to function and take care of the family farms, the kids, the programs. We have solid waste. We have emergency management. A lot of these, even though they're not up here talking, getting a percentage, they'll come to us for money out of the general fund. We have a lot of other programs that we provide to the county that we will fund with some of this money in the general fund 3/8. So even though you may not have heard it today, there's several things this money goes to, but please understand rural America is very important. And I know most of you know that. So we got to keep county government alive and well. But at the same time, we help our partners in municipal government as well.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Where Chief was done. He was done. One thing that nobody said the whole time. We want you to get out and exercise your civil liberty and vote on Valentine's Day. February the 14th, we had asked that you go make your thoughts known and please go vote.
Thank you.